Hello everybody. First, thanks for watching. I know there are a lot of fly time videos out there, and I appreciate you clicking on this one. This pattern is called the Jassid. It's a beetle pattern, terrestrial, usually tied in size 16 to down to 22. I'll explain the materials as I go and put the recipe in the description of the video here. I'm tying it on a 16, just makes it a little bit easier to see, but I will tie them down to 18s and occasionally a 20s. So that's a size 16 barbless dry fly hook. I've got 12-aught black UTC. Lay down a base. I'm going to get this to the start of the bend. Now, not too many components to this fly, and it's actually a very easy one to tie. So first, just some grizzly dry fly hackle in a size to match your hook. So this one is it's a 16. There toward the end it's probably an 18 or so, but we won't get down that far. We'll probably get a fair amount of wraps. I'd say good 8 or 10. Now some folks will tie this, will put a body on it. Barry Ord Clark put peacock body under this and then palmered this hackle up. Tim Camisa actually did mole hair, touch dubbed it. I do it like the original because I'm a little bit lazier, I guess, and it's just as easy. I don't think a body adds much to it when you palmer this the way you do. So just take several wraps up to your thread, maybe 2 eye lengths back, maybe 1.5. That's where we're going to stop it. I probably should have been using hackle pliers with this feather here, but I think we can get it far enough up here. Maybe try one more before we tie this thing off. And I'm going to get this caught in there really well. If it slips out on you, the whole fly will be ruined. It'll be time to start over. So anyway, see, that's a pretty bulky looking body, but we do trim it here in just a second. So let me take my fine tip scissors. We're going to lay jungle cock eye down over the top. So just kind of brace yourself, your thumb, your scissor hand right here, and then go right along the top. Makes a little bit of a mess, but you can see for the most part that top is flatter now. Now some folks will trim them off the bottom and some don't. I actually do. The last few I've tied, I think they turned out better when you trim some of these feathers here off the bottom. You still got plenty of hackle there, and it ends up being legs sort of coming out to the side. So top view right there, you can see the long hackle, and then the side view you see lesser hackle because we've trimmed some of these off the top and the bottom. So the next component, jungle cock eyes. Now you can use the ones you don't typically use for streamers there toward the top of the cape. If you don't have these, you can just use artificial or synthetic. Jungle cock capes are pretty expensive still, but they're pretty cool to tie with. So you want the back just a little bit past the bend of the hook. So lay that down here. Let's get a couple wraps right here. That's going to stick up. I need to build this head up just a little bit so I've got a better tie-in point with my jungle cock eye here. So let's see. I'll put a couple wraps on it and then make sure it's positioned where I want it on the top. So I think that's directly on the top. Now a couple more wraps to get it secure. Trim off the butt end of this jungle cock eye. You still get both those nails for the most part showing. All the yellow one and a good bit of that white one right there. So That's kind of what we want. Now we just build the head. It's a dry fly, so you don't want too much of a head. The smaller you can make it, the better. Whip finish and head cement, and we'll be done with it. So trim this off. I might have a little bit of cleanup to do. Some of these in the back here, could probably trim those off. But it's a pretty old school pattern. Does well here in the East Coast. I like fishing it. Again, this is size 16, but you can take them down to a 22 if you like. So there you have it. If you've watched this far, hey, I really appreciate it. I hope you'll consider subscribing. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 videos a week, and yeah, helps us out when we see that you watch them. So that's all. Thanks, everybody.